Hello and welcome to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, to another video. And today we're going to be discussing new signing Nelson Semedo and yet another impressive performance from the right back during last night's match against Espanyol. Now, Semedo started in the league for his league debut against Real Betis. That was at home. Then in the match away from home against Alaves, Ernesto Valverde opted not to play Semedo. Instead went with Vidal and also Sergio Roberto at right back. And the same happened as well during the Super Cup games. Semedo wasn't really preferred. Valverde seemed like he wanted to ease him into the role, but I think now we're seeing a player that's very, very comfortable already at Barcelona, and I think if we just look at his performance last night, he looks really, really comfortable in his surroundings, and he's got all the makings of a very, very strong right back, because the fullbacks at Barcelona are so important. They give us our width going forward, they give us a massive advantage when they can overlap. Going forward, they're so important. So I think Semedo and Jordi Alba yesterday were two of our key players, and you can see in some of these clips here, Semedo very comfortable on the ball. His first touch is very, very good, which is really important because what he has to do is develop a combination down that right hand side. Last night Deulofeu started in that right wing area, and I think as well you've got to look at Ivan Rakitic. A lot of the combinations between Semedo and Rakitic. Now Rakitic last season, by all of his standards, he's been brilliant since he joined Barcelona, but last season for me he wasn't quite at his best, and I think the reason for that was that he had so much defensive responsibility. He had to cover for Sergio Roberto when he played there, for Vidal. When they went forward, Rakitic had to sacrifice himself to do the defensive work to cover. This season, though, with Semedo playing as well as he can, and the way that he is playing, offensively he's so good, but he also gets back and he does his job defensively. He's so athletic, he can get up and down, and that in itself, you look at his pace here, that in itself is enough to give Rakitic that freedom in midfield that we saw him yesterday have one of his best games in a long time, simply because now he's free. You know, he's got that freedom in midfield, he's not shackled down by his defensive responsibilities, simply because we've got a right back in Semedo who's playing very, very well, who understands his role. You can see him here, he's happy to come inside at times, he's not always going to keep his width, he's quite happy to come inside and get involved in the passing plays, and I think that's important as well. Semedo has got to be involved in those stages of play, he's got to be involved in interchanging with sometimes Lionel Messi, because I think if you remember, you know, during Pep Guardiola's time at the club particularly, you remember the combination between Dani Alves, Lionel Messi, it was so important down that right hand side. Their understanding was nearly telepathic, and I think that's what Semedo has to develop. You've seen a lot of combinations here between Semedo and Rakitic, and those combination plays are really important, because going forward on the offensive you need to have those structures in your attack, and Semedo going forward for me is so promising. He's got the pace down the right, he's got the understanding. You look at the run there, it doesn't happen, it doesn't come off for him, but his runs are very good, very similar to that of Jordi Alba on the other side. They're very good, they're in behind, and they always give the winger the option. That's what you want to do. You want to be asking the defence as many questions as you possibly can, and I think that's what Semedo does. His pace is a massive advantage. The fact that he is so quick across the ground, you can see here again, he's happy to continue his run, giving Deulofeu the option, causing the defence a problem. Every time he takes up that attacking position, he's causing the defence a real problem, because they don't know whether to go with Semedo or they don't know whether to go and mark Deulofeu, and that overlap is exactly what you want at Barcelona. And like I say, yesterday I really did feel like Semedo and Jordi Alba really did make things happen for us, because going down that right hand side and the left with Jordi Alba, they keep the pitch as wide as possible, they give the likes of Lionel Messi, Rakitic, Iniesta, they give them the vital space they need, and you can see him again here playing in confined spaces. He's confident, and what I like about Semedo as well, he always wants to go forward. If he sees a bit of free ground in front of him, he will go and attack it, he will go forward and try to make something happen, because a lot of players, you see them come to Barcelona and sometimes they freeze, sometimes they don't really have that confidence to go and show what they can do. But you can see him here, he wants to get into that open space, he wants to go and drive a run, and that is what you want to see. He likes to play the ball as well, he plays the good options, he's not always greedy in his play, and defensively as well. Let's not forget, you know, as a right back, his job primarily is to keep the balls out of the net. He can do his job defensively as well. You can see him there, a good pass into the middle of the pitch to Lionel Messi, he's playing it around the back here, he's taking up that wide position once again highlighting highlighting his pace, and I think as general right-backs go, Semedo ticks all the boxes for us, and although he's only played 2 league games for us so far, I think the characteristics are there. He's good on the ball. Look at that for a ball in behind the defence that De La Feu. It doesn't quite come off, but it asks the questions of the defenders. I think he's got a good first touch. I think he's very confident on the ball. He's quite strong as well. You know, he's got a good physique about him. He's very athletic, and I can understand why a lot of people are making the comparisons between Nelson Semedo and Dani Alves. I can understand that because they're very, very similar in their physique. They're very, very similar in their style of play. Dani Alves, of course, when he was at the club, loved to go forward. He loved to attack. He wasn't always fantastic defensively, but he could do a job there, and I think that's what you want at Barcelona. Primarily, you want your fullbacks to be good on the ball. You want them to be confident going forward. And look, Semedo here, picking the ball up even in the middle of the field. He's very, very comfortable playing between the lines there. Again, he's looking to go forward. It's a real positive nature here. Look at the run there. Even if he doesn't get picked out, he's still making that run and causing the defence problems. He's there if Dembele needs him. And that is the combination that I am so excited about seeing. Ousmane Dembele and Nelson Semedo. Down that right-hand side, both of them have got blistering pace. Both of them are still, you know, relatively young. Semedo's 23, Dembele just 20 years old. But look at them down the right here. Look, really promising run, really confident run from Semedo. Picks out Dembele, and you are so excited to see what those two can produce between them. If they can get a combination going, if they can get an understanding going, it is going to be really, really interesting to see what they can produce down that right-hand side in the years to come. Because those players together are very, very quick. They're good on the ball, and if they can gather a real telepathic understanding, like we spoke about with Dani Alves and Lionel Messi, if Semedo and Dembele can combine like that, we have got 2 very special players on our hands that could be a really key part of our team. Because the fullbacks, like I said before, if you think about Guardiola's era, you had, you know, Abidal, you had Dani Alves, you had Jordi Alba later on coming, you know, into Tito Villanova's time, when we had those fullbacks who not only could go forward, but they structured and they complemented the team very, very well. Because it's no good having your fullbacks bombing on all of the time, leaving your centre-backs exposed. That's not what you want to do. You want to have fullbacks who are disciplined, who understand the game, who can read the game very, very well. And I see that in Semedo. He's not always a player that wants to bomb forward. He doesn't run around like a headless chicken. He knows what he's supposed to be doing. He's confident when he does it. And I think what it has also done is brought the best out of Jordi Alba. He's got the most assists in La Liga so far. He popped up with a few more in yesterday's game. But I think Jordi Alba is really playing well as well because of possibly the absence of Neymar down that left-hand side. Neymar, of course, when he was at Barcelona, liked to accept the ball. He liked to sort of keep it. He didn't always move the ball quickly. Jordi Alba likes to have a little bit of freedom down that left-hand side. Now Neymar isn't there. He's got a bit more of that freedom, and he can really do some damage down that left. We've seen Jordi Alba get into some excellent positions, take up some excellent runs in behind, and he can really do some damage because it's all about that final ball with Jordi Alba. We've never doubted that he can get into those positions. He's got the athleticism, he's got that pace to get in behind and to get into the final third, but it's all about that final ball. Can he get that final ball right? Can he make those important assists and those key passes at the right moments? In the first few games of the season, Jordi Alba has really been on his game, and the same definitely can be said for Nelson Semedo. And it's just so great to see a player that's settled into the club so quickly. You know, just 2 appearances in the league. He played 90 minutes in both of those games against Real Betis and Espanyol last night, and his pass completion percentage 93.1%. So really accurate with his passing. He averages 65 passes per game, and I must say, for 30 million, what we paid for him this summer to Benfica, it really does look in the modern market like an absolute steal. He looks like a very good signing for us, and I'm so excited, like I say, to see how he can develop and what sort of combination plays that he can develop with the likes of Dembele, with De La Feu, with Lionel Messi as well, what he can produce in the years to come as a Barcelona player. But leave your thoughts down below, guys. I'm very excited to see what you think. I saw a lot of people yesterday replying to my videos, you know, with comments about the performance of Semedo. I know a lot of you are excited about him. I know a lot of you have made that comparison between Semedo and Dani Alves. I see that too. I really do. I do see that comparison. Of course, Semedo has got to continue this. He's got to be consistent. He's got to do this for year upon year to be compared with Alves. But certainly for me, the potential is there. The potential is there. The quality is there. And like I said before, he's got all the characteristics to succeed at Barcelona in this role. He's got everything that we would possibly want in a fullback. Nelson Semedo has that. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. Not as many uploads today. I apologise for that, but there wasn't an awful lot going on today. A bit of a a rest, a bit of calm before the storm. Massive game coming up for us on Tuesday against Juventus. I'm going to be having the preview for that coming up tomorrow for you guys. Looking forward to that game. Benedetto, by the way, has gathered nearly 3,000 signatures so far in his vote of no confidence motion, and again for him, the game against Juventus is going to be absolutely massive. There were 77,000 people at the Camp Nou last night. I would expect around 97,000 to be there against Juventus. So there's going to be 20,000 more people at the Camp Nou on Tuesday night, and hopefully a lot more of those can get involved in Benedetto's motion and get their signature down on paper. So I'll see you very, very soon, guys. Thanks as always for watching, for all of your likes and all of your comments. I'll see you soon, but until then, as always, Vasca El Barça.